going to show you how to tell the difference between a knit stitch and a purl stitch in your work. We went over this a little bit in the ribbing video, but I just wanted to separate it out so people could be able to easily find it. But especially when you're working in ribbing, you're going to need to be able to tell the difference between your stitches so you don't get confused and you know which stitch to work next. And sometimes a pattern will say to you something like, continue to work in pattern, and it won't necessarily give you the steps you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to know which stitches to work based on how they look. So you can tell the difference on these 4 stitches a little more easily. You can see the little bars running across these 2 stitches. Those are purl stitches. And these 2 stitches don't have that, so those are knit stitches. So in the case of ribbing, when you get to these 2 stitches you would purl them. When you get to these 2 stitches you would knit them. And that keeps all your knit stitches in a row and all your purl stitches in a row. These first 2, it's a little harder to tell just because they're loose, but you can see that there's no bar running underneath them, so those are knit stitches. So we'll knit these first 2. And then we come to 2 purl stitches. So just look for that little bar. You know those are purls. Now your pattern, it just depends on what kind of pattern you're working on. If you're going to do the same kind of stitch or you're going to do the opposite kind of stitch. So when you come to your knit stitches, you might have to knit them or you might have to purl them, depending on what your pattern says. So just make sure you know what you're doing before you start looking at them, but you will just need to be able to tell the difference. So that's how you can tell. Just look for those little bars and you know that those are the purls.